Just imagine you could finally get or achieve that one thing you've been dreaming about. How much happier would you actually be? Welcome to another bite-sized life hack. In this episode, we're going to show you how you can use Dan Gilbert's impact bias to change the way how you think about achieving happiness. Do you remember the feeling of getting or achieving something great, where happiness just didn't follow as expected? Or do you know the feeling of wanting to get or achieve something where you didn't quite reach the desired result in the end? And yet, you somewhat didn't feel as unhappy as expected afterwards, did you? Well, that's because, after some initial time, we normally don't feel quite as intensely happy or unhappy as we imagined beforehand. Firstly, we're very poor at imagining how much impact a certain future event will have on our happiness. Our imagination makes us believe that different outcomes are more different than they actually are. And once reality takes over from our imagination, most all events have less impact, less intensity, and less duration than we expected them to have. This is called the impact bias. Secondly, happiness can be distinguished into two basic types. Natural happiness is what we experience when we get what we wanted to get, and synthetic happiness is what we experience when we don't get what we wanted to get. For synthetic happiness, we subconsciously rationalize the outcome and change how happy we feel about a particular event. And interestingly, both of these types of happiness make us just as equally happy. From a happiness perspective, we're equally off, no matter if we subconsciously have to rationalize any outcome to feel happy or not. And synthetic happiness is every bit as real and enduring as natural happiness. And, over time, we're also getting used to any new status quo. Statistically speaking, any change that happened more than 3 months ago simply has no more impact on how happy we feel right now. So, don't place too much emphasis on how happy you would be if you only achieved X or Y. Simply appreciate what you currently have, as well as the process towards each goal. Go all in and try to achieve what you want to achieve, but also know that from a happiness perspective, your mental immune system works wonders anyway, no matter if you achieve your goals or not. If natural happiness occurs, great! But if not, it is important to remember that once we start to accept the things we cannot change, and especially when an outcome is irreversible, our minds subconsciously start creating our own synthetic happiness. And as we've seen before, synthetic happiness is no different than natural happiness. For more information on both impact bias and synthetic happiness, check out the links in the description below to some original studies as well as the book Stumbling on Happiness by Dan Gilbert. And for more life hacks just like this, check out one of the recommended videos and consider subscribing. Now it's your turn. How would you apply this theory to your daily life? Let us know your hack in the comments below and inspire us all improving our lives step by step. And above all, stay awesome.